The White House is growing frustrated today because seemingly it underestimated the resolve of congressional Democrats. So, White House officials, including the president himself, believed that the government shutdown would last a maximum of 10 days. We're now in day 33. And while Donald Trump, behind the scenes, is voicing his frustration to White House aides and White House staffers, now suggesting that Republicans in Congress are simply not doing enough to end the government shutdown. And more pressure is building on the White House this morning as we enter day 33 because we have thousands of air traffic controllers calling out SNAP benefits are not being sent to Americans just yet, despite a court order. And ultimately, Donald Trump's approval rating continues to take a hit with each passing day, with his approval rating falling to its lowest point today of his second term. And while behind the scenes, the president is growing frustrated. He's growing frustrated at allies on Capitol Hill and allies within the White House because he himself predicted that this government shutdown would last no more than 10 days, that Democrats on Capitol Hill would cave to his demands. And yet they haven't. And in a new late night post, Trump, in all caps, on Truth Social, demanded that the Republicans on Capitol Hill completely abolish the filibuster, including for all pieces of legislation, not just to pass a continuing resolution to reopen the federal government. And so you're having an interesting dynamic play out right now. Democrats on Capitol Hill really have all the leverage. Public polling suggests that Americans do not blame Democrats as much as they blame Republicans. And well, at the same time, there's continued growing fractures within the Republican Party as we speak, as many more House members are coming out privately against Mike Johnson, suggesting that his plan to keep the House of Representatives home during this ongoing government shutdown is wrong. Remember, the House of Representatives has not been in session since September 19th. Today is November 3rd. That's more than a month that the House of Representatives has not worked. During that 5 to 6 week period, members of Congress were collecting their $174,000 a year paycheck. Staffers were not. And many Americans were furloughed or forced to work without pay. And so we're really reaching a breaking point for Capitol Hill and for the Trump administration. As we enter this 5th week of a government shutdown, Donald Trump really has a choice. Republicans on Capitol Hill are not going to end the filibuster. They've said it repeatedly over the past 72 hours. Inside the White House, Trump is growing very frustrated. He can either A, cave to Democrat demands and extend Affordable Care Act subsidies, because right now premiums for 2026 are set to rise about 30% across the board on average, but sometimes over 100%, sometimes as much as 175% for some Americans. And mind you, many of the people that are going to see ACA premiums rise are living in Republican states like Florida, which has the most people on Affordable Care Act in the entire country. And, well, he has a choice. Does he cave to Democrat demands, or does he allow this to continue going? Because according to reports, Trump's new claim that Republicans should end the filibuster has actually derailed ongoing negotiations on Capitol Hill. And with an approval rating at 37%, and with Americans increasingly blaming this president and this White House, it's not looking good for the Republican Party as we head into a critical election tomorrow night. An election in Virginia, an election in New York, in New Jersey, in Pennsylvania, California, and other states across the country. I'm going to be covering this election for you live, and you may get multiple updates throughout the evening tomorrow night. But we're watching key elections in Virginia and New Jersey, where Democrats are looking to pick up a gubernatorial seat in Virginia with Abigail Spanberger, and Mikey Sherrill, the Democrat in New Jersey, is in a tight race with Jack Ciattarelli in New Jersey. So we're going to see what happens there early in the night. Then we're going to move up to New York City, where Zohran Mamdani, the Democratic nominee, is predicted, and all polls suggest that he will come to a victory against Andrew Cuomo, despite Donald Trump saying that he would vote for Andrew Cuomo late last night. And then we're going to move westward to Prop 50 in California, a statewide ballot measure in a special election that could decide the future of the House of Representatives. We also have a key election in Pennsylvania, where Supreme Court justices in Pennsylvania are up for election, whether or not to retain them. Donald Trump does not want them retained, but Democrats are making inroads there as well. I'll provide you coverage throughout the night. Make sure to subscribe to support my work if you haven't yet, or send a one-time donation via Venmo to Aaron-Parnas. And apparently, according to our exclusive reporting, I actually reported this for Midas Touch late last night, the election in California, the Prop 50 election, is scheduled to have a visitor. A deputy attorney general by the name of Michael Gates is set to be sent to Southern California to, quote, monitor the upcoming Prop 50 election, raising alarm bells among election law advocates along with voting rights advocates. Gates' history of partisan activism, lawsuits against election officials, and opposition to voting rights protections has led to widespread concern about his ability to act impartially. So we're going to see what happens in these key elections. I will, like I said, be providing you with coverage all night tomorrow night. So get ready for several updates throughout the night. Polls close in Virginia at 7 p.m. That'll be the first update. You'll get a New Jersey update after 8 p.m. when polls close. You'll have a New York City and Pennsylvania update shortly thereafter. And then to end off the night, I will have an update on Prop 50, assuming it passes, or actually whether or not it passes, I'll have an update, but I'll let you know. Now, meanwhile, the Trump administration is ramping up pressure on another country, Mexico, considering putting American boots on the ground and conducting strikes on cartel hubs throughout Mexico. According to NBC News, the Trump administration is planning a covert operation to deploy U.S. Special Operation troops and CIA officers into Mexico to target drug cartel leaders and labs with drone strikes. This would mark a significant shift towards direct U.S. military action on Mexican soil, though no official announcement or decision has been made just yet. So let's just put this into perspective. The president, who is demanding a Nobel Peace Prize, at the same time is considering military action in 3 separate countries, in 3 separate continents, in North America and Mexico, in South America and Venezuela, and in Africa, in Nigeria, where the president of the United States has said that boots on the ground, American boots on the ground, may be in the near future as the Nigerian government denies Donald Trump's accusations that Christians are being killed en masse. In addition, Donald Trump said in a 60 Minutes interview that he plans to, quote, be involved in Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's corruption trial to, quote, help him out a little bit. Another unprecedented intervention in Israel's judicial affairs. The remarks follow Trump's earlier calls for Israel's president to pardon Netanyahu and his public efforts to boost the embattled leader during Gaza peace talks, deepening Trump's direct involvement in Israeli politics. Take a minute and imagine if President Biden demanded that any other world leader or any other judicial affairs branch in any country drop charges against a world leader. The outrage would be nonstop. That's all the news right now. It's going to be a very busy news week. I will be providing you updates throughout the week, throughout the night. So stay tuned for more. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to support my work. And as always, I will see you this evening with another update. Hey folks, Aaron Parnas here. Thank you so much for watching The Parnas Perspective. Please consider subscribing to support our work as we grow this independent news media entity into something that rivals mainstream every single day. Thanks so much, and I'll see you soon.